Today, we're gonna learn about trigonometry using SOHCAHTOA to get the sides of these given and their angles. So, let's start. First, let's get our reference angle, the big letter A, in order to get our opposite angle. First, you have to write down your given, which is A equals 5 degrees 40 minutes and 12 seconds. So, in order to get our reference angle, we have to write 5 as a constant plus 40 divided by 60. Since in order to get this, we had to multiply it by 60. The answer we're gonna get from this. And then plus 12 over 3600. So A is gonna be equal to 5 plus 0.67 plus 0.0033. That's gonna be our final answer for the big letter A. Okay, so now we got our reference angle. Our C is always gonna be 90 degrees. So meaning, to get our opposite angle, we have to subtract this to 90 degrees. So let's start. Our big letter B is gonna be 90 degrees minus 5.67 degrees. Which is B equals 84.33 degrees. So that's gonna be our opposite angle, or big letter B. So now for the hard part, we'll be solving letter B using SOHCAHTOA. Since we call this the adjacent, since it's adjacent to the reference angle, and we call this the opposite, since it's the opposite from the reference angle. So let's start. We're gonna use TOA, meaning tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. So first, let's write down our given. Tangent and our reference angle. It's always going to be written as tangent theta. But if you have a reference angle, you should always write it down as this, since theta is a value of our reference angle. Now we have this and our opposite, which is going to be 35, and our adjacent, which is going to be letter B. Okay, so now we've wrote it down from this to this. Now we're gonna be dividing it both sides by B. This cancels it. This cancels the denominator. And tangent 5.67 becomes b tangent 5.67 equals to 35. Now that we have this, we divide both sides by tangent 5.67 in order to get our final answer, which is going to be 352.52. That's going to be your adjacent, or small letter b. And now, for our final side of the triangle, we're going to get the hypotenuse. So, first, let's write what we're going to use from the SOHCAHTOA. Small letter A. This is small letter A. Sorry, I forgot to write it down. It's going to be small letter A equals to ka, meaning cosine is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. So now that we have what we're gonna be using for this side of small letter A, now let's give it the values. We're gonna write cosine 5.67. This is still gonna be cosine theta, the one I've mentioned earlier, cosine 5.67, since we used the reference angle, and it's gonna be equal to 352.52, since that's the value of our adjacent, over C. So, as usual, we're gonna divide both sides by C. Multiply both sides by C. And then, this is gonna cancel these out. And now we have C cosine 5.67 is equal to 352.52. And now that we have this, we're going to divide both sides by cosine 5.67. To get the answer of 354.25 for our hypotenuse, or small letter A.